All right, so before we hop into the podcast, I would just like to point out we say that this is our third podcast, but it's technically going to be our second one. The podcast that we had originally planned to be our second one, the file got corrupted, so we're just going to move forward with this one as being our second one. We'll cover the topics that we covered in the original second podcast. And you're about to notice that we now have an intro song, and that's thanks to our friends Fuzz Love for letting us use Ain't No Need. And if we haven't plugged them enough, 100% check them out. They're just great. And so yeah, here's the podcast.
Fuck you.
Welcome to the L2 podcast with Logan,
and David.
L2.
That's pretty much what we are.
Not even pretty much.
That
is what we are.
Exactly what we are.
I guess that also counts pretty much as well then.
Yeah, basically.
So
basically and pretty much.
So what's the date today? It's March 15th,
2020.
2020.
The 15th indeed.
And I'll tell you what, I got 2020 vision on how stupid people can be.
I get it.
Happy St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Yeah, because it's about to be St. Patrick's Day, isn't it?
Yes.
Everybody's gonna get trashed and eat corned beef and cabbage for some reason.
But no parade for you.
No parade.
And no dyeing the river in Chicago.
Dyeing the river.
They
They
could
could
have
at least have done
and
that.
Right.
Going to any large events at all, including concerts. Which I understand. I get the whole preventative thing of it, but it's still
think
just
it
saddening.
Got blown out proportions, but I don't know.
Perhaps, but we will see.
Yep, we just gotta
There's
a
lot of buzz going on about this whole thing.
So, I say before we go any further with this podcast, we should talk about the direction that we're going to take it.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard feedback from most people stating that they really like the music portion of our podcast and less so the wrestling portion. So, from here on out, we're only going to cover the wrestling when there is a pay-per-view, and it's not going to be as long as it was. We are going to focus mainly on music and what's going on in life.
That's what this is all about.
Yeah, really, truly.
Is music.
That's what we do. I mean, it's all we do.
There's a lot of other things we do, but goddamn, music though, holy shit.
Music's like 70% of what we do.
Mm-hmm. Music's like 99% of what I do.
Hmm? Yeah, I'd say it's at least about like 85.
So we've music. We like
music.
Speaking of music, I think Logan should start this first topic of the day, considering that it's one of his favorite bands.
Ah, yes. On the 13th, Friday of this March 2020, 2 new albums came out. But the one we're going to be talking about most importantly is the new Garden album, Kiss My Super Bowl Ring. Such a fucking banger, man, honestly.
Yeah, it's honestly my favorite of all the Garden's albums they've put out, like, consecutively.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'm not a huge fan of the Garden.
Mm-hmm.
They're just a weird form of rap, punk, whatever you want to call them.
They're not for everybody.
They're not, but this album was genuinely really good. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. It helped me with my coding in my coding class. I don't know what the name of the song is, but it's just like a straight screamo song where he's just screaming at the top of his lungs, and I was like, I really hope the people around me can just hear like this death metal that's being blasted through my headphones.
It's like, what are you listening to?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
My
and then they go into like Vada Vada.
My favorite song off this album's AM PM Truck. Apparently, they actually do the guitar themselves on these albums.
Oh no shit.
I've noticed that they can play multiple instruments.
Yeah, so I thought they just played the bass and drums, but I was watching interviews and I found out that they actually play their own guitar and shit too, and I thought that was pretty cool. This fucking AM/PM Truck reminds me a lot of their song with Mac DeMarco. It's just super jammy, super fucking good.
Five Mission.
Yeah, super fucking good. That's a weird song. Even
And
a weirder video.
And imagine Mac DeMarco's connected to it.
Absolutely. He also has a song with the Voids. Now the Voids just need to do something with a garden.
Oh my god.
Julian Casablancas.
A lot of bands.
Lost twin brothers.
Yes, it will be the fucking Three Musketeers.
The Three Musketeers.
Fucking Hit a Jacked off this album too was just pretty fucking fantastic. I love this album a lot, honestly. I've just been listening to it.
Yeah, it's really good.
I enjoyed it a lot.
It goes very hard.
Absolutely. The other band that dropped an album was just Group Love. They actually dropped their album Deleted.
Oh.
I haven't listened to it.
Yeah, I haven't listened to a lot of their stuff in a while. The single for this album was pretty fucking good though, so hopefully the album will be good. I just gotta check it out.
A band that I just recently listened to the discography of and got into was the Blackfoot Gypsies.
The Blackfoot Gypsy.
Before you guys leave here tonight, I've already showed Logan. I'll have to show you some of their music. They're pretty good. Very twangy. It's three guys: drummer, bass player,
The
guitar
singer,
player.
his voice reminds me a lot of Mr. fucking Ambrose. From
his
the
voice.
Murlocs and King Gizzard.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. He has an Ambrose voice. Very, very high pitch, but he has like a twanginess of Bob Dylan. It's very strange. He's a really good guitar player. They used to slide on like every song, but they're really good. What else are you guys listening to lately?
I did listen to a band from San Diego, Jam and Slate, but we're gonna save them for another time.
I like Jam.
They're very good.
They're very jam.
Very jam.
And Slate.
And Slate.
I've been listening to discographies like left and right. Right now I'm on MGMT's. They're pretty fucking good. I think I only have one left, which is just Little Dark Age, which I've already listened to like a good handful of the songs off of, and it's a pretty banger so far. I just gotta finish it up.
Didn't they just release a new song not too long ago?
Yes, In the Afternoon, I believe is what it's called. On their own record label now, actually.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if they get other bands on that, or if it's just for them, or just what they do with that in general. But I'm excited to see like a future album. Hopefully they come out with something soon again.
I'll have to give. I haven't listened to a lot of MGMT. They're alright. Not my favorite band, but they're pretty good.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I've been listening to a lot of jazz lately, but that's only because I'm like trying to figure out this whole saxophone thing.
The sexy.
I am so determined to play like no one has ever been determined for saxophone in their lives.
I've almost played the saxophone.
Maybe.
I did clarinet instead, though.
Yeah, I just wanted to learn how to play that sexy instrument for a long time, but I just now have access to one, like the kind that I want. So
I'm sure you could
Just like
find
random
somebody
jazz.
around here that could teach you how to play.
Oh, I already know a handful of people that'll be like, yeah, I'll show you the ropes.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
I want to get a didgeridoo.
Didgeridoo.
Yeah.
Damn. You got a lot of instruments here.
Yeah, I have a 12-string guitar, 2 basses, 2 acoustics, multiple electrics. I'm getting another electric for graduation.
I'll go see if I can bring some like small instrument from the Philippines or something.
Hell yeah. We'll have all the instruments.
All the instruments in the world.
Yeah, we'll use them in our band that we're gonna start.
Yeah, our band. Don't want to forget about our band, which don't have anything yet.
We gotta
really.
get the band together.
We gotta get the band together first. That's the whole thing.
And then
break
we'll
up,
and then
get the band back
together.
Yeah, a couple years down the road, it'll be a great triumphant return.
One of us has to go to jail. And
it'll probably be me.
Okay, well,
Fair enough.
when you go to
can
jail,
do that.
David, and you get out, we'll pick you up in a police car.
Okay.
It'll have cop suspension. And
Cop motor.
Yeah, cop motor and cop
You gonna
tires.
jump a bridge too? Jesus Christ.
You don't like it?
But we won't trade it in for a microphone or
Okay,
anything
good,
like
good,
that.
good, good.
We
Yeah,
already
don't
got
do
a
that.
microphone.
Yeah, we already got a microphone.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we might trade it in for a microphone.
We'll
if
get
it's
a
a good
second
microphone.
microphone.
If it's better than this microphone, we
Well,
might need more microphones down the road. We don't know.
We'll need all of
No,
them.
yeah.
We need at
We'll
least
sell all the
19
cars for all the
microphones.
We'll
microphones.
trade everything in this house for a microphone.
Everything in this house.
I'll sell the house just to buy a
Just to buy some
It better
microphones.
be a high quality microphone.
It'll be
the
the
highest
best microphone
quality.
anyone's
It's like
ever
somebody's
seen.
whispering into your ear. It's like ASMR.
It's like listening to Paul talk himself.
Oh,
Just-
boy.
That's how good of a quality. So, we've been going with top 5 lists the past 2 podcasts. Well, we're
Yeah.
mixing it up today.
It's a bunch of bullshit. It's all our own opinion, of course. But today,
We're gonna talk about in our opinion, the top 10 bands of all time.
all time.
And this is in no particular order, like all of our other lists. And like we said, this is our opinion. You can hate us for it if you want, but we don't really care.
That's fine with us.
A lot of people hate us already. For no reason.
Yeah, but fuck them.
So, I'd say the first band we talk about is the first band on the list, which that makes sense.
Kind of the band that brought us all together, really.
The band, my favorite band of all time.
My favorite band to come out of the 60s.
And
The
pretty big.
fucking
One of my
Doors.
favorites. Yeah,
the
the Doors.
Beatles and the Rolling Stones of America. That's how good they are. They got both titles.
They are the Beatles and Rolling Stones of America, 100%. But they're also just the Doors.
They're
Jim Morrison's a
great.
national treasure.
Jim Morrison's a wild fucking animal, dude.
Yeah, that
I love
too.
him so much.
he is like the definition of rock and roll.
I agree.
Like a partier rock and roller.
Mm-hmm.
Just throwing caution to the wind, doing mass quantities of psychedelic drugs. And getting
All
drunk.
of the drugs, actually, not just psychedelics.
What a guy.
One of the gods of the party.
I idolize him. My favorite story about Jim Morrison is he was at this party with Janis Joplin.
Oh, yeah.
And she smashed a bottle of whiskey over his head. And then he went on to have sex with Grace Slick from Jefferson Airplane. Like, you may be cool, but you're not Jim
Yeah,
Morrison
you're not-
cool.
You didn't do that. Like,
Another great band. As we said, the Doors are just the Beatles of America.
that's
Now
like
let's talk
that's
about.
like you can't even not talk about the
Let's
Beatles.
talk the actual Beatles.
The Doors of England.
Yeah.
The Doors of England, yes. The Beatles of the UK, you might say.
The Beatles of the UK.
The
Yeah.
Beatles of Europe. Yeah.
Some would say that.
Some might say that.
So the Beatles is the second greatest band of all time. I mean, how could they not be on this list? They literally, changed the world when they came over
Yeah.
to America.
You cannot avoid the Beatles, really. There's so much Beatles everything.
Even if you don't know it, I guarantee you've heard at least one Beatles
At
song
least
in your life.
one Beatles song, because they just reach out so far. It's
They're
ridiculous.
that popular and for a good reason. I mean, there's always been a debate, right? Who's the better band, the Rolling Stones or the Beatles? And the way I see it, I mean, the Rolling Stones are good, but I mean, how could you be the greatest band when the Beatles wrote your first #1 hit?
For sure, and a lot of people don't even know that.
I Want to Be Your Man. It's a Rolling Stones song, technically, and the Beatles wrote it for them. Got it to be their first #1, but then the Beatles did it, and did it so much better than the Stones' version. But that's not to discredit the Stones, because the Stones are next on the list. I mean, Ruby Tuesday, Symphony for the Devil. What else is on there?
She's a
song-wise?
Rainbow. It's fucking amazing.
Rock
Mother's
Soft.
Little Helper.
They're a great band. Mick Jagger, very interesting person.
Very, very
Keith
interesting.
Richards should not be alive.
Yeah, neither of them should be, honestly.
How is he still around?
Jagger just had another kid a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore.
Oh man, Mick, calm down.
What a crazy band they are. Very talented though. They're not my favorite band. I'm not a huge fan of the Stones, but every now and then I like a good Rolling Stones song.
Yeah, I don't dislike the Stones at all. They're They're up there.
The Stones dislike.
You know what else is up there though?
Led
All the
Zeppelin.
way in heaven, the stairway to heaven.
At the top of the stairway.
Zeppelin. That's one of those bands. That's again one of those bands. It's like
One of the
when
pioneers
people
for-
think rock and roll, Zeppelin.
Yeah, they were the
often credited as like one of the best rock and roll bands of all time.
they were the second biggest rock band since the Beatles.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah. That's yeah. I mean, they have many great songs.
Many great albums. Led Zeppelin 2 and like
Led Zeppelin 3 is my personal favorite.
Physical Graffiti.
Yeah. Trample Underfoot's a great song. It's one of my favorite songs from them.
You want to talk about love?
Talk about love! I actually didn't know that was a Led Zeppelin. I knew that line, like that, them singing it. I never knew it was a Led Zeppelin song
Interesting.
until we saw a Zeppelin cover band and I listened to their discog.
And then they get shit like Going to California, and it's just a whole different fucking
Yeah.
change of pace. But it's
What is
still
it?
great.
Friendship, I believe, is the name of this. It's either Friendship or Friends. That's like one of the most like bluegrass songs I've heard come out of them. It's great though.
Yeah, they always have that little twinge.
The
Zeppelin.
twang. It's all in the
Little,
twang.
little
David.
twank. Little twang.
So, and you know what? They had probably one of, if not the best, one of the best drummers of all time with John Bonham.
Mm-hmm.
Because instead of going with
Either him or Neil Peart.
yeah, John Bonham instead
For
of
sure.
going with the bass like most drummers do, he went with Jimmy Page playing
Mm.
guitar. So he did guitar riffs on his drums. Also, it's just beautiful. So moving on, we have the Grateful Dead.
One of the jammiest jams ever.
Yeah,
One of the biggest inspirations for a lot of
like
the
Mr.
local
Lotto
music that
we listen to.
Yeah.
Most of it actually.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Indiana has, or Chicagoland area has a lot of jam bands.
A
for
lot
some
of
reason.
jam bands.
Like
It's
almost nothing but. It's
basically
kinda
just
strange.
like the late 60s again. Early 70s. But also not at all.
Yeah,
Because
no,
we
not
are
a
in
single
Northwest Indiana in 2020 and it's terrible.
bit. Yeah, it's
It's
just
pretty fucking
it's
rough.
god awful
Yeah,
terrible.
it's just
We just
straight
make light of
horror.
it all the time. But it's pretty bad, guys.
But yeah, no, Grateful Dead, they really changed the like scene for
Yeah, Grateful Dead though.
like
You know,
concerts.
that's what
like,
makes it all better living in Northwest Indiana.
We-
The Chicagoland area
is
is
the Grateful Dead.
the Grateful Dead
Even
bringing
the-
life to all these local bands.
Bob Weir literally just played in Chicago like last week.
The ungrateful alive.
That one group's getting back together. Said after 25 years.
Oh,
something.
Uncle John's band.
Yes, they're
Yeah.
a Dead cover band.
But yeah, no, Grateful Dead, they really changed the way like concerts were held with their wall speakers. I mean, that's just like one of the most badass things that you can do. And I mean, literally, they've gone out and just played for like 5 hours without taking a break.
Yeah, it's nuts.
But then you hear stories like at Woodstock where they took a bunch of acid before they went up on stage and like didn't play for a full 45 minutes and just stood on stage.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a bit much.
But
It's
hey,
not like the Santana situation where they're like, you got to play right now.
right and
And then
took
they just
acid.
jammed out
Right.
the hardest anyone's ever jammed.
But when you're the Grateful Dead, I guess that works out because people are probably like, Jerry Garcia, that dude's fucked up already. Heroin, acid.
Oh, yeah.
God rest his soul.
Mm-hmm.
Great band though. I
Cherry
agree.
Great
Garcia.
band.
My dad looks
Jerry
like Jerry
Garcia.
Garcia.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. It's kind of scary.
He is the old man.
Yeah, no, when Jerry Garcia didn't actually die, he's just my dad now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Now, next on the list is a band that the Dead actually covers occasionally, Pink Floyd.
Logan and I actually have tickets to see Roger Waters in August.
Yeah, that would be fucking insane.
Yeah, do that. Honestly, that's
We are.
amazing. You're just gonna see a fucking rock and
Yeah.
roll legend.
Roger Waters made me like start playing the bass. But Pink Floyd, I mean, Dark Side of the Moon's the best rock album of all time, literally.
Yeah, that's another thing. You just see that everywhere. That imagery. You know?
It like in January, either this year or last year, it was labeled best rock album ever. Which, I mean, I don't disagree.
I disagree personally.
Well, I mean, if you look at statistic wise.
Well, yeah, statistically, like
my own
albums.
personal
I
opinion,
think
I
there's
get
better
you.
albums. Like, I think personally, I like The Wall way more than I
Yeah,
like
that's
Dark
what
Side
I'm
of the
saying.
Moon.
I like The Wall, and I even like Pipers at the Gates of Dawn more than I like that.
The final
Animals, dude, Animals is so
my
good.
favorite personal Pink Floyd album.
Pigs is just my favorite Pink Floyd song of all time. It's not
And
my
Wish You Were
favorite
Here.
album, but it's my favorite song for sure.
They're just both too good.
Logan and I recently saw a Pink Floyd cover band in the flesh.
Oh, they were fucking phenomenal.
And they had the best versions of Money and Pigs that I've ever seen.
Yeah, so trippy, man. They're so trippy. Another band that's trippy, the Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Right, the dude would supposedly put acid underneath his bandana and go out and play on stage. I mean, more power to you.
Supposedly.
I'm sure he did.
If
If
not,
not,
I'm
just
sure it
did
just
acid
normally did
beforehand.
acid, yeah.
One of my favorite photos of Jimmy is him in the crowd with a sugar cube on his mouth, on his tongue.
He changed the way that people played guitar for real.
Sure.
And also he played like he was left-handed and he played a right-handed guitar upside down.
Yeah,
because he didn't have access to a left-handed guitar.
He flipped the guitar over and took the strings off.
He just had some of the best solos ever.
And he just rocked it. It was amazing.
Some of the best songs ever.
Yeah, I agree. Little Wing, my goodness.
Pally
Gap, oh my god.
Drifting.
Manic Depression.
Red House
so
over
good.
yonder.
Foxy Lady.
Baby. That's fucking Foxy Lady. Oh my god.
Every time I hear that
All Along
song,
the Watchtower. That's like one of the most notable songs of all time.
Yeah, he took Bob Dylan's song and made it better.
Yeah. Hendrix shredded so hard he was like the prelude to metal almost.
Yeah, it's what he canceled Bob Dylan basically.
Well, speaking of metal, our next band on the list, Black Sabbath. I mean, if you know us personally, we're a big fan of the psychedelic metal. And I don't think there is a band that is more psychedelic metal than Black Sabbath.
Yeah, they kind of kicked things off for that. I know there's another band prior to them that gets some credit too, but just Sabbath specifically, Black Sabbath, just wow, they really changed the way that people. They're one of those big influential bands. They change the way that people think about music and shit.
I mean, Ozzy Osbourne's a crazy guy. Literally took acid for 2 years straight, like every day, 2 years straight to see what would happen. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's where some of their greatest music came from.
He ate a bat.
He did. To be fair, he didn't know it was a real bat.
Dude, Ozzy's probably got the corona.
I mean, he's been surviving it for a long time.
Yeah, no, he's immune to literally
he's patient
everything.
zero. Yeah, he's patient zero.
Ozzy will never die. Ozzy's forever.
Ozzy Osbourne forever. You ever seen that interview where they like ask him something about like some habit, like something like drug habit or some shit? He's like,
yeah, he like can't speak. Like he's one of those strange people where like you don't understand a single thing he says when he's talking normally, but he comes out on stage and you can understand everything he says.
The entire time, whatever show was called, the entire time they filmed it, he was fucked up. Like the entire time.
Yeah. When you're Ozzy Osbourne, you can afford to be fucked up the entire time of a show. When it's your show.
Yeah, because they're paying to see Ozzy Osbourne.
Right. They're probably not going to leave if he's fucked up. They're probably going to be like, it's just Ozzy being Ozzy. But,
the sad truth to the music industry.
So, next, one of my personal favorite bands of all time, Cream. Eric Clapton.
Cream's pretty amazing.
Ginger Baker, and I don't remember the third, but it's Bruce something, I believe.
Bruce Campbell?
Or something Bruce.
Bruce Springsteen?
Yeah, it's the boss. But, I mean, they've had songs like The White Room, which I don't know if you guys know this. It was literally a poem that got sent into them.
Really?
And they just made a song about it. It was
shit.
it's about this guy, his new apartment.
Huh.
4 white walls in the white room with black curtains. It's just the guy's apartment that he's describing.
Huh.
And they turned it into a song.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I actually saw Ginger Baker's son a couple years ago. And he's in a Cream cover band.
Huh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they played at Zale Island. They're really good. He did a 15-minute drum solo.
What?
It was pretty badass.
Imagine playing the drums crazy for 15 minutes straight. I definitely can't do that.
I could do it. It just wouldn't be that good sounding.
It was fucking wild. I enjoyed it a lot. But I mean, I don't think we could get away with talking about Cream without mentioning "Sunshine of Your Love." That's like their most favorite song ever. "Stranger Brew," another great one. Another fun story. So when Jimi Hendrix first came to England, his manager brought him to a Cream show, and he asked if he could play on stage with Cream. So Cream was like, okay. Eric Clapton left the stage.
What?
And when the manager went back there to talk to him, he's like, you didn't tell me he was that good. So, I mean, and like, that's coming from Eric Clapton, where people were literally writing on like buildings in England that Clapton is God. It's just crazy to me.
And then Hendrix came and was just like, who's your god now?
I still like Eric Clapton, one of my all-time favorite guitarists.
I can't believe that I only found this out a couple of months ago that Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, and who else all came from the Yardbirds.
Oh yeah, you didn't know that? I think it was Bill Crosby.
Yeah, maybe we need a fact check. Who's the guy?
Jamie.
Jamie, can you pull that up for me? Find out who that is. Thanks, Jamie.
But yeah, Clapton, great guitar player. Ginger Baker, one of the Jeff Beck.
Jeff. Oh, there you go, Jeff Beck. Yeah, it's crazy. They all these big fucking names came from this one group, and 2 of them were playing together at one point.
Whatever the Yardbirds song is that is in Fear and Loathing. I think it's. I'll fact check it, but that's the day that song came out.
Yeah.
Eric Clapton left the band.
Oh. So, on to the, I guess, number 10 of this imaginary list of the top 10 bands of all time. We got Rush.
Yeah, it's For Your Love.
Yeah,
The day that song came out, Eric Clapton left. But Rush, I mean, Neil Peart just recently passing away.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Neil. One of the greatest drum players of all time. I know we brought him up earlier. Dude was just a fucking wizard on the drums. Geddy Lee, amazing bass player. I don't know the guitar player's name, but he shreds pretty hard too.
They're just all very good.
I've never been the biggest fan of Rush.
I was for a little bit, but I only listened to a couple albums of theirs. I didn't cover everything, but I was really into them. They're the ones that like opened the doors to like prog rock for me. I guess.
For sure.
Yeah, they're pretty great. I know Logan's going to see Primus cover Rush.
Yeah, Farewell to Kings.
But yeah, no, great band. I enjoy but listening to Rush. I enjoy watching them too. They did a concert with the members of Foo Fighters at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Nice.
It was pretty sick.
Let's talk about some bands that didn't make the list but have almost.
Honorable mentions.
Yeah, honorable mentions. So yes.
Yes.
This was a suggestion
No.
from my dad's friend. I don't know if you guys have listened to Yes, but
Yes, I have.
They're really good. I enjoy them a lot.
They're great. They put out a lot of like fucking big numbers that I'm sure you've heard somewhere.
Right, I am sure you've heard Yes.
At least one song. Yes, you have. Heard it.
Another album mention, Genesis. I mean, Phil Collins, Peter Gabriel.
Well, band mentioned. Genesis, yes.
Well, yeah, I said Genesis. And that's
yeah.
Those are members from the band. Phil Collins, Steve Hackett, Peter Gabriel. I mean, Land of Confusion's like my favorite song from Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis is they're one of the fucking bigger rock groups from that era.
Oh yeah,
of music.
for sure. And they have like superstars like the three that I mentioned. Phil Collins, most probably famous for "In the Air Tonight."
Mm.
Everyone knows that drum solo.
Boom, 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 boom.
Can't see it. Can't sing the whole song though. We don't want to get copyright stricken. Or what was it called? Listen, I'm drunk on the podcast. Don't fuck. I'm not gonna do it anymore. I'm not gonna do it anymore.
Bad David.
I am drunk on the podcast.
So
sorry.
Next on the list we have the Beach Boys. I've never been too big of a fan of the Beach Boys, but I mean they had Pet Sounds is one of the best albums of all time. I feel like.
Beach Boys are pretty fantastic.
They're
I almost saw
good.
them last year play with Ringo.
Yeah, I almost went along.
That would have been great. Or like
we were gonna get you tickets for your birthday because it was like on your birthday.
Oh no snap!
I just don't remember what happened. Something came up.
The Beastie Boys are also pretty good.
The Beastie Boys.
The Beastie Boys. Yeah, I was making a joke. Okay, fuck you, Logan.
The Beastie Boys
I'll
are
kill
a
you.
joke, David.
Those are fighting words, Logan.
The Beastie Boys are gonna come fight.
The Beastie Boys, they fought for your right to party. You need to shut the fuck up and respect the Beastie Boys. They fought for your right to party.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, fuck those guys.
Well, that's pretty rude.
I'm sorry, that was rude.
Whoa.
Alright, so moving on, we have Freddie Mercury, Live Aid. Live
Freddie
Aid.
Mercury is the best vocalist of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah?
Yeah, he had like a redonkulous voice.
Live Aid may be like the greatest performance of all time. It's just a legendary performance. Great members, like great musicians of the band, all around. I mean, and like Brian May, he's a astrophysicist, so it's not like they're just rock stars. They like went to college and got degrees and shit. And
They're
like,
educated rock stars.
They're very educated.
It's not like they're just rock stars.
No, but they're
smart rock stars. Dude, Queen's got some fantastic songs. Fucking Party, that's my favorite Queen song. But obviously everyone knows Bohemian Rhapsody, fucking We Will
Who
Rock
the fuck
You.
hasn't heard those songs?
Yeah,
realistically.
shit like that.
Idiots.
That's some white people music right there.
That is the definition of white people music right there. That's
But
like
so
up
many
there
people
with
know that,
Sweet
though.
Caroline.
Like that's
Yeah,
those are like
absolutely.
international hits though. You gotta understand.
Yeah,
Right,
for sure.
but it's still white people music.
It's
David.
totally white people music.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're great.
They definitely did a lot,
One of the best.
especially Flea in my opinion.
I was
for,
about
like,
to say one
bass.
of the best bass players ever, man.
Bass players,
he's
yeah.
definitely in the top 5.
He
Ridiculous.
just feels it. Like you can tell he like the bass is
He's
in
definitely
his
the
soul,
most talented musician out of that band.
without a doubt. They have my favorite Jimi Hendrix cover with Fire.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
That's how he starts the fucking song. I love it.
Let me slip it in your fire. When we saw a Jimi Hendrix cover band, David, we sang the Red Hot Chili Peppers version
Yeah,
instead
that's
of
great.
Hendrix's.
We did do that. Dude,
Let me
if we ever
see
see Red Hot
the
Chili
fire.
Peppers, I'm gonna make a poster that says
Play
play
Fire.
fire. Yeah. That's my goal.
So next we have Velvet Underground, which
The Velvet
I
Underground,
don't know
dude,
if
they're one of my
Logan-
favorite classic rock bands.
I don't know if Logan's listened too much of the Velvet Underground.
to a good handful.
But I mean,
They
Heroin.
only have a couple albums.
Yeah, Heroin.
Yeah,
White Heat.
all of the album of Velvet Underground and Nico.
Yeah.
One of my personal favorite like classic rock albums of all time. What was it?
I really like the self-titled Velvet Underground album.
Maybe is that the one with
The
the
banana.
No, that's Velvet Underground and Nico. that's
You're a
what I said.
banana.
Oh, I am.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I guess that is self-titled, isn't it?
Yeah.
But- Yeah, Lou Reed, just amazing by
he's
himself.
a very interesting guy.
But we'll talk about individual artists later on. That's like we can't just bring up like Jack White on this list.
We've already done that.
Yeah, we've already done that, but we'll bring him up again in top something artists, you know.
So next on our honorable mention list. I'm just looking at this. We probably have as long as an honorable mention list as we do a normal list. So we could have just made this a top 20.
Hey, fuck you.
It is now a top 20 list.
It's whatever. Hey,
It's
man.
It's a list.
Don't fucking judge us.
Yeah, fuck off.
This
Logan.
is our podcast.
This is my podcast now.
Who the fuck are you?
Speaking of who,
The Who?
the Who are the next on the list.
Oh
are you?
boy, that was almost like a setup.
It was almost us. Are you setting me up, Logan?
This is a setup.
Who the fuck are you?
Cops just kick down the fucking door, punch you in
Is
the
this
face.
am I going to turn around? There's like a whole military behind me.
Oh yeah, it's the Blues Brothers.
Oh yeah, that Velvet Underground album was loaded.
Yes.
That fucking I have like
You're loaded.
physical copies. I am.
Oh no.
So the Who, I love the Who. I think the Who is going to be the next band I listen to their discography.
We saw a Who cover band, and
They were great.
They smashed the guitar, and
Who
are
the
you?
neck of the guitar was
I would-
fucking fantastic.
I would like to say that I'm like 80% positive that the Roger Daltrey of the Who cover band was doing coke the entire show, like their entire
Well,
show.
I guess that's how it be sometimes.
I
You
guess
just
you
not
could-
see it. He's
No,
just like
well,
off
he kept
the
walking
side.
off.
No,
the
yeah,
stage.
no. It was literally every time they were doing a breakdown, he'd walk off stage into the back.
Oh,
It's
a lot of coke. Maybe Pepsi.
He was sweating very much too.
I prefer
Profusely.
Sprite.
Yeah, it was crazy. They're really good though.
I'm sweating profusely right now.
They've
Because of
also,
our sponsor, water.
we're not
sponsored by water.
Get
Yes.
it while it's refreshing.
Get it while it lasts.
Get it while it's cold.
Before your local psychopaths buy it out of your store.
I mean,
Yeah.
you hopefully have running water. That's at least something. that
Running
we all
water
hope
doesn't
for.
exist.
Running water is a luxury.
water
It's never been a
water
thing.
doesn't run, David. It at least walks at a mild pace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of does. I mean, it depends.
You fuck.
Little dumbass.
Water goes pretty fast sometimes, dude.
Speedy water.
Speedy water. So we have two more bands on our honorable mentions
Mm.
list. The next being Sublime.
Sublime
Absolutely.
is just they've done a lot for music.
You guys more know about these next two bands than I
Yeah,
do.
okay, fair enough.
So I'm just gonna roll off
listen,
into
the whole thing
You
with
rolled
Sublime is that Sublime is just they're very well known, but the whole thing is that they're basically only like two albums, right? Before he passed away.
They have two out. Oh, before
Well, with-
Rome passed away.
Yeah, with the original
Rome.
original singer
What?
Not Rome.
and songwriter.
I'm gonna.
Rome,
kill
not
you.
Rome.
I'm gonna
Sublime-
kill you.
It's
Fuck outta here.
Sublime with Rome now. Is what
Yeah, that's
it
who it is now, and it's not the same. You know, it's
Yeah,
Definitely
the
not.
original music is much better.
yeah, honestly.
Bradley is just
Yeah, David,
too
it's Bradley.
too damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking I saw a Sublime cover band that killed it. Badfish. They're real popular. They play with like 311 and shit like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, for real. They're real good. Sublime, honestly, just real good. They got probably the most famous song is Santeria for sure. They
I like
got
Date Rape.
Date Rape is my favorite Sublime song. Just so good. That's my personal favorite ska band in general.
They
And
also have
they are also just a really good reggae band in general.
they have a good cover of Scarlet Begonias.
I was about to say that, yeah, for sure. They have, as we were talking about the Dead earlier, Sublime, just inspired by the Dead. They're one of their best songs is actually a Dead cover. Scarlet Begonias, real good song.
And then we've got the Specials, in my opinion. They've just done a lot for like fucking ska music. It's like some of like what wave is it people would refer to. I don't even know right now, but you know they're like one of the like root fucking modern ska bands in my opinion. There's a lot of other bands that we did not mention, did not cover. But, you know, we love a lot of bands. We love
do.
a lot of music. It would take a very long time to write out every single band we listen to and enjoy. Like, this is just a handful. Like, a very small handful of music that I, like, have listened to a lot in my life.
Yeah.
We should do that someday, though. Just come up with every single fucking band. We're like, yeah, these guys, or group, or anything, artist.
It would be like a 1,000 list, like a 1,000-item list.
Oh man, it'd be so crazy.
It'd be a whole podcast.
An entire Okay, let's get on with this. 'Cause it's gonna take 5 hours.
So that was the end of our, top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Our top 19 technically favorite bands, or just bands of all time. So next, if you've been paying attention, which I'm sure you have because it's probably the only thing that you're seeing on news feeds anymore. The coronavirus, I mean...
Well, yeah, COVID-19.
It's kind of fucked, but the most fucked up thing it's done to us is push back our concerts because of this.
Yeah, for real. That's like a personal hit.
Passing.
I'm very upset by the fact that this is a.
Yeah, I have like a couple $1,000 invested in shows right now.
Easily.
How are we gonna start a band with a major pandemic? This is rough. We can't get any gigs. Nobody wants to come out. Everybody's closing down.
I literally went to Arby's today to get my dad a fish sandwich. Mm-hmm. And they're like, just to let you know, we're waiting on the fish because everyone's too scared to come out and order from us. Oh. And I was like, okay.
There were a lot of people coming to T-Bins, though.
Well, you were like a restaurant.
Yeah, restaurant. Illinois closed down today, like all their bars and restaurants.
Ohio. Yeah, so.
For, just for like sit-down places. You can't come and sit down. Mm.
Yeah.
It's getting pretty alarming now, to be honest. But, you know what?
I mean, it's just common sense.
Just gonna go about my day and just wash my hands a little bit more often. I already wash my hands all the time. I work in a fucking restaurant. You have to wash your hands.
Yeah. Obviously, take your precautions, but don't be too extreme with them like everyone else is.
Don't buy all of the toilet paper.
Yeah, don't hoard a bunch of shit for yourself so you can sell it at a high price because of the supply and demand laws, of like business. That's really shitty. Don't do that.
Most importantly,
that makes you a terrible person.
Be safe and try not to get the corona. All right.
We might need to censor the word corona because people will cancel us.
No, we're not about
We're causing alarm.
We're not.
And upsetting people.
We're just upset because our concerts are getting canceled.
Yeah, it's pretty bullshit,
Honestly, I think only 2 of our concerts.
The only thing that should be canceled is Bob Dylan.
Absolutely.
Our concerts.
You know what? Bob Dylan's an inappropriate man. He says inappropriate words. He needs to be canceled. I'm tired of his shit.
For real.
That's it. 2020 down with Dylan.
Throws around the
You know what? And that's actually a good segue. Because our next topic, you're going to be listening to us a lot for at least an hour a week. Unless you watch our old podcast. Some of you probably won't even watch the full podcast.
Some of you probably don't even give a fuck, and that's fine.
Some of you probably won't watch at all.
Coming soon, so you don't have to watch the full podcast.
That is true. But we have a lot of running jokes, which you'll come to find out. One of them being Bob Dylan.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, he just...
Just kidding. I love you, Bob Dylan, but I also hate you and you need to be canceled.
You need to stop saying inappropriate words. It's getting real out of hand.
Speaking of hands.
That's another thing.
Logan didn't have any for a long time.
For a very long time, because of David Bowie,
he took his hands. Give me a hand!
Because you're wonderful.
My hands were very wonderful, so I understand why David Bowie took them.
But last year at Riot Fest, we were able to get Logan his hands back when he was able to touch the rail at Jack White.
Yeah, Jack White, with the power of rock and roll, gave Logan his hands back.
Jack White had the power of God.
He snatched them from David Bowie from the heavens himself.
He shook my hand, and this is how he's gonna do it.
Yeah,
and then they just grew back.
Yeah, it was epic. I'm glad that Logan has his hand back.
It was all thanks to Anna. She helped us out.
Jack White.
She predicted Gloria somehow.
She did. That was wild. Patty Smith.
That was crazy.
Yeah, Patty Smith had
played Gloria. He's gonna play Gloria right where Patty Smith left off.
And
what did he did? Holy shit!
And then he was like, "That's for you, Patty." And we all looked at each other. We were like, "What the fuck?"
He did it. She called it.
She was like, "Oh shit!" I guess she is relevant to music, dude. Holy
Dude.
fuck.
Well,
Speaking
speaking
of
of be relevant
relevancy
in
to
5
music.
years.
So we were waiting up at we made it to the second row. We went to Jack White's stage
2
to,
hours,
to like 3
2
to 2
sets
hours
before.
With the
early
raconteurs
before.
at
Yeah,
Riot
we
Fest.
went 2 sets before Jack.
And we were 2 rows behind the rail. Not 2 rows behind the rail. 1 row behind the rail, second row. And we were just standing there, and this old, very obviously drunk woman started just scooting past everybody, like kind of shoving them out of the way. She's like, excuse me, my friend's up there, I need to get up there. Some people are like, alright, yeah, go ahead. And she, anyway, was walking up there, and she's like, I need to get up there, my friend's up there. Mind you, she's at the second row now, so there's not really much people at the front that she could be referring to. And anyway, she just tries to squeeze past the front row and ends up like literally standing on top of a girl who's sitting at the rail waiting for the show to
Yeah,
start.
I guess she wasn't like feeling good or something. Maybe she just needed to sit down. Who knows? But anyway, this lady was like standing right on her, basically.
And this girl that we had met had like literally almost started fighting her like a fist. It almost ended up very ugly, but she just kind of yelled at her and she walked away. Apparently, that same lady went and tried doing the same thing to my friend.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that woman and the girl Anna, what happened was she walked up and they started arguing because she was standing on top of her friend, obviously. And she was like, hey, you're going to need to move. We've been standing here for like 5 hours just waiting for these spots. So
Yeah, for real.
You can't just walk up and snag them. And the old woman got really salty about it and was like, well, are you even relevant to music? And she's like, what the fuck does that even mean?
What the fuck does that even
She's
mean?
like, well, in 5 years, will you be relevant to music? And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Relevant to music to go see a band?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have
And
to be
then-
relevant.
You gotta be relevant to go see Jack White in the
This
front row.
old woman ended up fucking off eventually, and then we all just had a great time. I joked around. I was like, hey, Jack White's my friend, so I'm going to need to scoot past y'all to get up there.
Yeah, even people besides us were making comments like, are you just ridiculous?
Yeah,
Oh, my
it was-
friend's right here. My friend's right here.
Riot Fest
Where's
was
your
a
friend,
wild
bitch?
time.
You know, when we were at Riot Fest, I looked behind me and I saw the singer from Fuzzlove behind us, Sean. He was right behind us.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
no shit.
I looked at you, David. I was like, hey. I looked at both of you. And I was like, hey, I think
Oh, yeah.
I think the singer from Fuzzlove's behind me. And you were like, just start yelling swoop. And I was like, all right. And I did. And I don't think he realized it. But he was most definitely behind me because he posted a photo like the next day. And I was like, shit. Well,
I can't wait for Riot Fest this year.
Yeah, that was actually a great transition because that's kind of what we want to tell some stories, and Riot Fest was the first thing that we wanted to talk about.
And Riot Fest this year, holy shit. We're gonna go all 3 days.
We're leaving early the first day though to go see the OCs.
Yep, John Dwyer.
Hopefully he'll smash guitar over my head.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty great. That'd be my way to go.
That's.
Yeah,
I want
if I'm
to.
gonna die, it's not gonna be due to this
John
stupid
Dwyer's-
coronavirus. I want John Dwyer to fucking kill me with his guitar. Just
Well, of
straight up.
course.
Either melt my face off or just straight up crack it over my head.
Yeah. I actually emailed the OCs and asked how much it would cost to purchase John Dwyer
They still haven't responded. So
Purchase John Dwyer.
to be my
so-
personal
so
face
John-
melter.
please get back to us. on that.
I'll ask him.
Hey, can you just follow me around and play like some amazing?
Yeah, no,
fucking-
I'm gonna ask if we
Or we can ask Kevin.
Yeah. I'll ask Mark.
Yes, all of them.
Just ask everybody
Everybody.
in the band.
Everybody.
Ask King
Everybody.
Gizzard. No, they're too
Good.
big.
Wait, no, that was a great transition, Logan. Because the next story we want to talk about is Mr. Blotto, Blues Brothers, the Hotel Blotto, Mr.
Blues Brothers.
Ah,
Yeah. that was great.
everybody
Need somebody to love. So, it was a great weekend. Logan and I arrived before David did.
It's one of my favorite weekends of all time.
I agree.
Yeah, I have to
It was just so
agree.
much fun. I'm glad that we were all just
The first thing I did,
we were
I
in
had,
sync.
I
Blues
had-
Brothers.
I had to take a shower so I could transition. You know, I took the shower, came out, and I was dressed up in my suit.
Because we kind of are the Blues Brothers.
We are. We're
But
not
we're
just
like
kinda.
the Blues Brothers from 2020 and
Yeah,
Modern day
nobody
Modern
else is,
day Blues
nobody
Brothers.
else is the Blues Brothers, just us.
And there's more than two
no,
of us.
Everyone else besides maybe Mr. Blotto that tries to dress
Oh,
up like the
yeah,
Blues
they
Brothers
were
looks
definitely the Blues
stupid.
Brothers.
They were most
And
definitely.
obviously Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi.
Yeah,
That's
the
a
actual
difference.
Blues Brothers.
The
are
actual Blues Brothers, too, obviously.
But we're also the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, dude.
Don't cancel
I
us,
can't
Dan
believe the
Aykroyd.
Blues Brothers is also a Ghostbuster. That's pretty wild.
That's true.
Yeah, that's wild. And the other Blues Brother is Slimer.
Hmm?
Just saying.
That's how it be sometimes.
More like Ooze Brother.
Yeah.
We
That
came,
was
we
pretty
saw, we kicked its ass. Blues Brothers, great movie. Ghostbusters, great
Dude,
The
movie.
if
music,
Blotto
they're
does
great,
a
like,
Ghostbusters fucking Blotto, we need
Who
to
you gonna
go
call?
in full like Ghostbusters
We'll
gear
get-
with proton packs
Yeah,
and everything.
it'd be great.
With the Blues Brothers costume.
Yeah, we'll be dressed like the Blues
We'll have the
Brothers.
Blues
Why,
Brothers.
though?
We'll have the we'll
Doesn't
have the
have to do with
hat
anything.
and glasses
Yeah.
on. Like when they're in the sauna.
Yes. Great times, and people loved us. I think maybe the best part of the weekend,
Whoa.
if you've seen the Blues Brothers, one of the first scenes is Jake and Elwood are in the nun's office, and
penguin.
they start cussing,
Yeah.
and she starts hitting them with the yardstick, and they fall down the stairs.
Well, and you shit out of luck.
What'd you say?
Shit out of luck.
You
oh,
asked
Christ,
us-
Jake.
You asked us for money, and
No, you're up Schitt's Creek this week.
Yeah, you're up
So
Schitt's
it's,
Creek. Well, after Mr. Blotto ended their Blues Brothers set, the lights came on and we looked over and there was a nun standing there with a yardstick.
Yeah.
And she started hitting us and we started yelling. We were like, fuck shit, ow, fuck shit. And we ran
Chased
out of
us
the
out.
ballroom. And she was fucking swinging at us with the yardstick. That was probably the highlight of the weekend for me.
Mm.
That was just a good time. Well, I mean, what was your favorite part of the weekend?
Just the whole fucking weekend, man.
Right?
Because we were like dedicated and nobody else really was. We were just all a bunch of like, we just came in on Friday night as
Logan
Blues
and I
Brothers.
were dressed from the moment that we got there.
Yeah,
Good, so was
absolutely.
I.
When I met
I showed up from work like that.
when I met Steve at my store, he was like, I was kind of disappointed that no one else went as Blues Brothers, but he's like, you guys fucking killed it. He's like, you guys were the only people I saw as Blues Brothers there.
Yeah, they're like, so when we went to the Fear and Loathing Hotel, Blotto, like everyone was dressed up.
Yeah,
like
I told
Johnny
him
Depp.
that. I was like, there was hunters left and
Yeah.
right.
But
I was fucking channeling
Yeah.
Hunter S. Thompson.
You did do that for sure.
there was
Jesus
like
Christ, guys.
a
We're going on.
handful of Blues Brothers, but it's alright. We own that. That was our weekend.
Yeah, I'll commit to the theme for them every week.
There were some other Blues Brothers.
So the
But-
weekend after the Blues Brothers, alright, we had plans to go see a Doors cover band. Upper Section.
them before.
We've seen them 6 times.
Shout out to them.
And I'd never seen them yet.
Fantastic musicians.
Mm-hmm.
They've actually lost their singer, their Jim, but that's a story that we'll tell another time.
Is Kevin still in the band?
I believe so. I haven't heard that. I haven't heard
Because
it about.
he plays with Rick now,
Yeah.
just on his own.
I haven't heard of any other members leaving.
Gotcha.
But apparently, Kevin's old band had contacted them about playing with them again. So we'll just see what happens. But they were playing at this place called 210 Bourbon Street, I believe.
Yeah,
Uh,
something like that. I don't know. I've never been there before.
I-
I've heard of it before.
Yeah,
but
I've
never
heard
been
of
there.
it, and it's a bar, I believe. And at 10 o'clock, they turned 21. The show started at 9. Only problem is, a perception went on at 10 o'clock. So we wouldn't have been able to see them anyway. So we drove all the way out there, which it was really only like a 20-minute drive from your house, David. So it wasn't too bad. And we got there, and we're like, there's really no point in staying.
Yeah, because like I could go in, but then you guys, what would you do?
Right.
Hang out at like Speedway?
But it wasn't that big of a loss. It was free tickets. So we dipped and went to go try to see a Mr. Blotto show.
Yeah, we started driving towards where a show was.
That didn't work either because that was also a 21 up event. So then we're like, fuck it. Let's go hang out with Logan's cousin.
Yeah,
That was successful.
That was
I don't know. It was like,
successful.
what did he say? as soon as you called, he's like, I'm just now getting out of
It's
work.
like I just got out of work. He's like, you guys in Illinois?
We're like, yeah, want to hang out? And he was like, yeah, let's hang out. So we did. We went and hung out for like, I don't
A
know,
little
10,
bit.
15 minutes.
Yeah, just a bit. He's like, I'm tired. And got off
And
work.
his friend was
Fair
coming
enough.
over anyway. So
Yeah.
as we're walking out to David's car, he whips his phone out and decides to call up his brother.
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to karaoke. I'm like, oh, yeah, well, we were going to go to these bands, but we can't go to them because they can't get in. The Logans can't get in. So we're all dressed up as Blues Brothers. And before I could say another word, my brother was like, you're dressed up as Blues Brother? Come down to fucking Valley Inn right now and sing Sweet Home Chicago. Because that's my favorite karaoke song. I'm like, yeah, I know, I'll be there. And then, like, just dropped him off at his house. And I went to the place a couple blocks away.
We were hanging
Amazing
out
time.
with his two sons. And we decided to jump in the hot tub.
Yeah.
That was pretty fucking great. We were just chilling, eating some candy outside in the hot tub.
And we ended up staying the night because David got really drunk. It's alright, David.
Well, I mean,
were
that
partying.
wasn't my fault. I was partying pretty hard.
It was
I didn't
your
have any
fault.
obligations the day afterwards.
Yeah, it's true. What you did. You had that rendezvous.
Oh, yeah, but
That didn't end.
Right.
Wait, didn't end
it
up
wasn't
working.
even successful.
It's alright. You ended up hanging out with us and watching Revolution, recording our first podcast.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. That did happen.
So, yeah, that was a fun weekend.
Definitely up there. At least in recent memory.
Yeah, one of the best weekends of the year so far.
Yeah, some good.
Some good weekends, some bad ones.
Some good quality bonding with family and friends.
So,
That's what it's all about.
Don't
It
forget.
turns out that
The
podcast
family-
Turns out the
was the
family
friends
were the
we made.
friends we
Oh,
made.
oh,
Yeah. What is that? That's so great. What does that mean? Oh man, it's so deep. I love it. Turns out that friends are the family is the friends we made.
Yeah, don't you worry about it, dude.
That's
don't
like
worry
we
about
gotta copyright that term right now.
What, family?
That's such a simple combination, but I'm like I've never heard that before, and that like is so deep. And I love it.
Oh, man. Is this the fucking arena trench?
It's like
'Cause it's-
live, laugh, love. It turns out that family is the friends you made along the way.
Turns out that friends are the family you made along.
It turns out that friends are the TV shows
What?
that you watch
Oh,
along the way.
I forgot that Friends was a TV show. I was like, what the fuck? It turns out that Seinfeld is the friends you made along the way.
oh,
my
David,
goodness.
you're something else, man.
What's up, Jerry?
This podcast went to shit at the end here. Just,
We all go to shit at the end.
I'm gonna go to
I
shit.
mean, I just did that, so I don't have to.
So, how's life going for you, fellas?
pretty good.
chilling, watching cat videos.
Hey, Logan's been watching cat videos for like the past 5 minutes.
Cats are adorable.
He's got like 3 of them.
Don't
4.
worry about my cat.
He's got cats, lots of them.
I'm literally gonna buy a saxophone tomorrow. I'm so
Li-
excited.
literally?
It's
Do
been one of my things that I've wanted to
do it.
Literally
learn how to
fucking-
play for at least 7 years. And I'm just now like, yeah, I got the money, might as well.
Do it.
And I know a bunch of people that are like, dude, I could show you like the basics at least. I'm like, oh yeah, okay,
That's all you need.
it's all I need right there. So I'm gonna go do that.
Do it.
Aside from that, I'm just working a bunch.
Yeah, I might have to quit working for right now, just a little bit.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's another thing. But let's
Yeah.
we'll figure out.
Hey, I don't
how
have
to
a
do-
job, but I'm out of school for a month.
Well, fuck you.
It's a damn
You're
shame.
supposed to you fucking graduate soon.
I'm supposed to graduate. I'm gonna graduate 4 weeks after I go back to school. And that's how long I'll be in school technically. For the rest of the semester, it's just 4 weeks in actual school.
I'm gonna put you in actual school for 4
Bitch!
Whoa.
Don't even talk
Put
to
you
me
You
like
in
that.
calm the
actual
fuck
school.
down.
I'm
little
sorry.
Man.
That was
little baby big man.
To be fair, you did. That's you.
No, that's literally me. Yeah.
That's you.
I dressed up like a little baby big man for Halloween.
I was the Jacker.
The
The Mick Jacker.
The Mick Jacker.
The McJoker.
The Mick Joker.
The Mick Jacker.
Sponsored by Dairy Queen McDonald's.
What the fuck does it mean?
Sponsored by Dairy Queen.
Sponsored by Dairy Queen. The McJoker. Nah. What?
Oh,
You talking about, Logan?
The Mick Joker, sponsored by McDonald's.
That's my
is what
favorite
I tried to
movie
say.
from a couple years, like in recent years.
McJoker?
The McJoker, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
you guys like Mick Jacker?
Yeah,
Mick Jagger?
I like
Yeah, that's
Mick
another
Jagger.
one.
Hey, okay, I got a question for you guys.
We already talked about the Stones.
And for the audience.
I got the question for you.
No, I got a question for you. Do you
Alright,
think
hit me.
David Bowie and Mick Jagger had sexual relations?
Perhaps.
I
They
don't
did a
know.
lot of crazy drugs together.
Right, but I mean, you know
And
the
Lou Reed.
the dancing in the street. And it's speculated that they fucked.
Playing in the band.
Fucking in the street.
Playing in the band.
Calm it down
Fucking
there,
in the band.
David Bowie.
Fucking in the band. Fucking in the band.
What the fuck are you talking about? Fucking in the band.
Yeah, fucking in the band, David. David doesn't know about fucking in the band.
Oh,
David, are you saying that you don't fuck in the band?
I mean, you fuck with the band?
No, fuck in the
Fucking
band.
in the band. There you go. He doesn't.
Maybe I don't fuck in the band.
Damn.
Well, that
I
must
fuck
suck.
outside
You
of the band.
already know.
Well,
Band of brothers.
alright.
Brothers band?
The Brothers Band?
The Allman Brothers band?
You know what?
Why didn't we put them on
Yeah,
the
I
list?
was gonna say. I
That's
forgot.
another honorable mention. We'll
honorable
go back
mention.
to the
Hey,
list.
Hey, look,
We'll just
look,
keep
we're
bringing
going
up
top
bands.
20, everybody. The Allman Brothers are the 20th band.
Don't you fucking...
Dwayne Allman, I would like to. I know you guys were saying how you guys want to die. I want to die like Dwayne Allman.
Oh, yeah,
That's not
let's
specific
let's
how.
disclaim how we want to die on the end of this podcast.
Sure.
Okay, so I'll start because I started this conversation, right?
This is the end.
I want to die like the Dwayne Allman, right? It's like one of the most rock and roll ways to die. He was riding his motorcycle, clipped the bed of a truck, flipped over, got crushed by his motorcycle and slid. He didn't die on impact or anything. He just like crushed his organs and shit and died at
Well, that
the
sounds
hospital.
more painful than rock and roll, to be honest. With
Right,
you.
but
How-
but it's
I've
rock
been in a
and roll.
motorcycle accident.
How do
It's
you
not very
wanna
rock
die?
and roll.
Yeah, no. Motorcycle accidents are very rock and roll. Motorcycles are rock and roll.
You just stunned David.
I'm like,
how
excuse
how
me.
do you want to die?
yeah, David, how do you want to die?
Not
Well,
a
he was
motorcycle
just- He was
accident, that's for
complimenting
sure.
you. He's saying you're rock and roll.
I mean, I guess I am. If that makes me rock and roll, sure.
All right, your turn, David.
Quickly, or being suffocated under pussy.
Well, that's a way to go.
You might want to edit that out. I don't know. That's up to you.
No, man, we're keeping
but
that in. That's how you want to die. You
Yeah.
can die that way.
you can just edit quickly. Then
you're the one who
you go
edit,
on.
You're the one who's gonna edit this, David.
Oh, am I now?
That's literally what you told me and Logan.
Oh, that's fair. But I'm gonna be busy with saxophone, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna take up all my time. You want me to edit it?
Okay.
Then I can edit it.
Logan, how do you want to die?
You're an interesting guy, David.
So you don't tell me first.
David, you're an interesting guy.
Dude, I swear to God, I used to want to go out by being eaten by fucking sharks.
That's really painful. That's crazy. It's
That's
scary,
probably-
dude.
Dude,
You're just in the water.
dude, I love no. I love
Like a
meat.
pack of them?
I
You
love
just get,
meat
like,
maybe like
thrown around.
maybe one or maybe a bunch. Make it happen real fast.
Yeah.
Sharky shark attack.
Would you want them to like bite you, like bite limb by limb, or like just like head first?
I don't know. Whatever. I'm like a gummy bear to this shark. He can
He-
choose
he can
which body
shoot-
part
he
he
can
goes for. I'm
Eat
like
you how he wants,
an animal cracker, but I'm also an actual cracker.
because you're white. I get
Yeah,
it.
I know. You did get it.
I did.
Fuck you.
What a funny joke, man.
Thank you.
I mean, listen. Dying is tough.
Dying
you know what else
is
is
tough.
tougher?
King.
Tough.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I love King Tough. How the fuck did we get out of that to King Tough?
You asked what's tougher. He's King Tough.
Tough.
Now, what's tougher, David? You tell me. The Predator?
You see, it caught me off guard. I was gonna say a thing, and now I don't even remember what it
You
was.
ugly motherfucker.
I just, or is that like The Grudge, the fucking creepy ghost child?
You're a creepy ghost child.
We'll
have a
Jim Morrison's creepy ghost.
Let's
or
write
something?
a song called "Creepy Ghost Child."
No, let's write a song called Jim Morrison's Creepy Ghost.
No,
But
we'll
of
have a
course.
lyric. We'll have a lyric called
Jim Morrison's
Crim Jimson.
creepy ghost is working
Grim
in
Jimson.
mysterious
Crimson
way.
Jim.
Who the fuck is that guy?
The Crimson Chin. Do you not know the Crimson
The
Chin?
Crimson Chin. Oh goddamn, I
The
love the
Crimson
Crimson
Chin.
Chin. Here
Yeah.
comes the Crimson Chin.
Dude, I have I used to have a Fairly Odd Parents DVD that just had Crimson Chin episodes on it.
Great, that's beautiful.
That's the shit.
I mean, the Crimson Chin, he's like the perfect hero.
Dude.
Look at that.
The
Chin
perfect
line.
hero. He's Jay Leno.
He's
If
got-
Jay Leno was a superhero.
His chin is erect. It must be cold outside. Fucking alright, boys. On that note,
Yeah, on Crimson Chin's erect chin.
Erect chin.